What are the various muscles you see in the back of the thigh, Raj?
Ma'am,
Back of the thigh
semi
muscles. Huh.
semimembranous,
Hmm. Semi,
biceps femoris,
huh. Semitendinosus.
a
Now,
hamstring part of adductor magnus.
very good. Very good. All these are the muscles of back of the thigh. Okay. Do you remember where they originate? All hamstring muscles, that is the posterior compartment muscles, they are originating from ischial tuberosity. Please remember this, ischial tuberosity. Okay. Now see here, see back of the thigh, we have seen gluteal region, right? So from that gluteal fold to the popliteal fossa, we will see the muscles of the back of the thigh. So we have semimembranosus, semitendinosus, long head of biceps femoris, and ischial head of adductor magnus. Okay, so all of them, see the hamstrings, they share the following characteristics. First thing is all of them are arising from ischial tuberosity. Okay, insertion also we have learned when we were doing tibia and fibula, isn't it? Okay, nerve supply, which nerve is supplying here? Posterior compartment, sciatic nerve.
Sciatic,
Yeah, anterior compartment, Ansraj?
femoral,
Very good. Medial compartment, better?
obturator.
Excellent, very good. So these posterior compartment muscles are acting as flexors of the knee and extensors of the hip. Okay, then so this semitendinosus, this is quite easy beta. Origin insertion, I'll take the help of picture and I will help you to understand this. See here. So when you talk about this semimembranosus, this is the ischial tuberosity, the uppermost part of the ischial tuberosity. You can see it is giving origin to semimembranosus. Okay. Now, semitendinosus is coming just below the origin of semimembranosus. Okay. Then adjacent to that, laterally we have the long head of biceps. Short head of biceps is actually coming from the lateral lip of the linea aspera. Okay, in the lower two-thirds. Now coming to the insertion, see semitendinous. Do you remember we had three muscles which were gyropes, which were getting inserted on the medial aspect of the shaft of the medial condyle of the tibia?
Gracilis, semitendinous,
Huh.
sartorius.
Huh. So let's read it. So what we were discussing, so semitendinosus, it is like getting inserted along with the two other muscles, no, which act as gyropes. What are those? Gracilis is there, sartorius, gracilis, and semitendinosus, isn't it? Then, now coming to the biceps, if you remember at the head of the fibula, at the superior surface of the head of the fibula, you will see the insertion of biceps. Okay, then semimembranosus, it is coming and getting inserted on the posterior aspect of the like upper part of the like tibia. Okay, that is semimembranosus. So all muscles we saw semimembranosus and semitendinosus. And where is the adductor magnus getting inserted? Adductor magnus will have its insertion all along the lateral lip of the linea aspera till the adductor tubercle, isn't it? So we have seen it has many openings. One of the big opening is hiatus, which allows the passage of femoral artery. Now which continues as popliteal artery, isn't it? So these were the things like origin and insertion. You just can go through the table, whichever table like which you have with you. Okay, then now what is the nerve supply? See, everything is being supplied by the tibial part, tibial part, tibial part. Okay, whereas adductor magnus, it has like dual nerve supply. It has medial compartment nerve will be the posterior division of obturator nerve. This I have discussed much in detail. Hamstring part is being supplied by tibial part of sciatic nerve. Okay, apart from that, the other nerves what you see, long head is supplied by tibial part and short head is supplied by common peroneal part. So in this picture, if you observe, you can see the sciatic nerve, which was the key muscle which we have seen yesterday in the gluteal region.
Piriformis.
Very good. Below piriformis, we saw the sciatic nerve coming. It runs over the gluteal muscles and it is running over the like adductor magnus, and you can see in the just above at the popliteal fossa, it will be dividing into two, tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. Okay, so the tibial nerve will be going and supplying the anterior compartment of the leg. Then we have common peroneal nerve which will be dividing into superficial and deep peroneal nerves. Okay, tibial nerve, all these are the subdivisions. Tibial nerve supplies the posterior compartment. Okay, then so so that's how I hope it is clear now. See, logically also if you think, see this is sciatic nerve which is divided into tibial and common peroneal. Okay, so tibial is supplying all the muscles except for the short head of the biceps. Because if you see the origin, short head of biceps is this side. So this side, which nerve do we have? We have common peroneal nerve. Okay, so that's how you can see the common peroneal subdivision of the sciatic nerve is supplied. Okay. Then sciatic nerve, anyhow, I'm going to discuss much in detail. Okay, so just a few points about this. This is the thickest nerve of the body, which is the terminal branch of lumbosacral plexus. Root value is L4, L5, S1, S2, and S3. Okay, so it has two parts. So before we go with that, uh, you have seen the nerve supply and then see the actions. Semitendinosus, it is the chief flexor of the knee and medial rotator of the leg. Almost every muscle is doing the same function. Okay, except for adductor magnus, which is adductor part causes adduction of thigh and ischial part helps in extension of hip and flexion of knee. Okay, so this is all about hamstrings. So after hamstrings, now I will take you to popliteal fossa. Okay. So this sciatica also I will discuss when I am doing sciatic nerve in detail. Okay. So then we will go to popliteal fossa. Popliteal fossa is very important as a question. Now can you see popliteal fossa on screen? Yes? Hansraj, Hema, Abhinav, Chavi. Can you see
Yes.
popliteal fossa? Huh. So now we are discussing popliteal fossa. What is popliteal fossa? How do you describe? It's a diamond shaped fossa which is seen behind the knee joint, isn't it? So in order to see under what heading generally we have this question, like we should know the boundaries, we should know the contents, and we should know certain clinical aspects which we will be discussing in detail now. Okay. Now see here, we were discussing about semi-membranosus, semi-tendinosus, biceps femoris. Okay. Now see what are the various muscles you are finding here. See, this is semi-membranosus, the one which is deeper, which looks like a tendon is semi-tendinosus. The other side you have the biceps femoris. Okay. Then this is the lateral aspect of the leg. This is where you have semi-membranosus and semi-tendinosus. They got inserted on the tibia, right? Upper part, gyros. So this part is the medial part of the picture. This part where we have the biceps femoris, it gets inserted, I told you, at the apex of the fibula, head of the fibula. Okay, so this is the lateral aspect. Okay, then these are the gastrocnemius muscles. So this becomes medial head of gastrocnemius, this becomes lateral head of gastrocnemius. Okay, below gastrocnemius you have soleus and plantaris. All these together they form this Achilles tendon or calcaneal tendon, isn't it? If you remember, I told you it gets inserted in the calcaneal tuberosity. Okay, beta?
Mhm.
So that is, when you see here, this is actually a diamond shaped fossa which is found behind the knee joint, and the sciatic nerve has divided here into two. So this one is the tibial nerve, okay, and the other one what we have is the common peroneal nerve. Okay, then apart from that we have cutaneous branches, okay, which are sural cutaneous, medial and lateral sural cutaneous. Then if you remember, we have seen the course of femoral artery. It was initially in the anterior front of the thigh, then it has entered into the posterior compartment of the leg, right? Through hiatus in the adductor magnus. So what is the name of the artery now? Popliteal artery. It is accompanied by popliteal vein. Okay, so that means from the front, the artery's course has changed. Now it has to posterior aspect. Okay. So that is, now see popliteal fossa. This is a diamond-shaped intermuscular space situated at the back of the knee. It is more prominent when you just flex your knee and you can feel for yourself. Okay. Then this is Vishram Singh's picture you have. So I told you wherever we have the semi-membranosus and tendinosus, that is medial side. Okay, biceps femoris is on the lateral side, isn't it? Then, so that means popliteal fossa has four boundaries. What are those? Superomedial, superolateral, infero-medial, infero-lateral. Which are the muscles in the superomedial? Semi-membranosus, semi-tendinosus. Superolaterally, what muscle do we have? Biceps.
Biceps.
Yeah. Infero-medial boundary is
Gastrocnemius.
medial head of gastrocnemius. Infero-lateral boundary of popliteal fossa, lateral head of gastrocnemius, which is also supported by plantaris. Okay. So now it looks like a diamond-shaped fossa. Do you remember when we were discussing femur, I told you posterior surface of the femur is also called as popliteal surface of femur, right? Between the medial and lateral supracondylar lines, if you can recollect. So that is actually forming the floor of popliteal fossa. Okay. Now, and this is lateral atlas picture. So the bulky muscle is semimembranosus, tendon-like muscle is semitendinosus. This is medial boundary superiorly. This is biceps femoris. This is medial head. This is lateral head of gastrocnemius. Can you name this nerve? Sciatic nerve. Dividing into two. What are those?
Tibial.
And
And fibular common.
common peroneal luteal. Okay, fibular is also right, but we use the word common peroneal. Tibial and common peroneal. What is the name of this artery?
Popliteal.
Yeah, vein?
Popliteal.
Popliteal vein. Okay, fine. So whatever we have discussed is written here. Superolaterally is biceps, superomedially semimembranosus, semitendinosus. Inferiorly we have inferiormedially is medial head, laterally is lateral head of gastrocnemius, which is supported by plantaris. Okay. Now coming to the roof. Now you just try to recollect what you saw when you were doing dissection. So once you reflect the skin, you will be seeing the superficial fascia, isn't it? Then here, it is something like cubital fossa beta. So what is the vein we saw in the cubital fossa? Median cubital vein. Median cubital vein, isn't it? So which is very important for intravenous collection of blood or IV injections. Now, similarly, this is also a fossa which is seen behind the knee joint. It also has certain cutaneous structures. We are finding a small vein here which is called a short saphenous vein. Which is the longest vein of our body? Largest vein? Great saphenous vein.
Great saphenous.
Great saphenous. This is great saphenous vein drains into which vein? Chavi?
Great femoral.
Very good. Great saphenous vein drains into femoral vein, whereas short saphenous vein drains into popliteal vein. Remember this. Short means it is not so long, no? It is ending at the level of popliteal vein only. So in the roof you are finding short saphenous vein, then you are also finding the cutaneous nerves like sural communicating nerve, posterior cutaneous nerve of the thigh, posterior division of medial cutaneous nerve of the thigh. Okay, so this is the facial tent. These are the cutaneous nerves. Now, floor. Once you remove semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris, medial head of gastrocnemius, lateral head of gastrocnemius, plantaris, once you cut all those structures, when you remove the popliteal artery vein and the sciatic and tibial common peroneal nerve, everything is removed, then you will see this is the floor. Now can you see like this is femur, posterior surface. This is the medial supracondylar line, because tibia is this side. This is medial supracondylar line. Fibula is this side. This is lateral supracondylar line. So between the two supracondylar lines, we have popliteal surface of femur. Okay. Then this is forming the floor. Apart from that, we will also see capsule of knee joint. Over the capsule, you have a thickening, that is oblique popliteal ligament. Okay. Then we have popliteus muscle. If you remember, I told you it is intracapsular, coming from the lateral condyle of the femur. Okay. You can see the same muscle here. It gets inserted above soleal line. If you remember tibia behind, we had soleal line. Above soleal line, we will see the insertion of popliteus. So the fascia which is covering the popliteus is also forming the floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is from Vishram Singh. Very easy to remember. Floor is formed by popliteal surface of femur, then capsule of knee joint, over which we have oblique popliteal ligament, below which you will have the fascia covering popliteus muscle. Okay, beta? Then, so this is the lateral view you are finding, where you are also finding the other structures like lymph nodes, fat, popliteal pad of fat, and so many lymph nodes. Okay. Then the other structures is again same capsule. This thickening is oblique popliteal ligament. This is popliteus muscle, and this is the fascia cover. Even if you remember this picture, also it is enough. Okay. Then, so the roof we have pretty well seen with the help of picture. We saw small saphenous vein, we saw posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. Okay, and in the floor we saw the structures. Okay, now what are the contents we saw? Nerves. The sciatic nerve, its bifurcation into tibial and common peroneal. Then we have popliteal vein and its tributaries, popliteal artery and its branches, and lymph nodes. Okay, popliteal lymph nodes, and so much of fat, if you can recollect your dissection like knowledge, what you have done during your classes. Now, contents of popliteal fossa. Now, which is medial boundary here? This one. Go with semi-membranosus, semi-tendinosus. This is lateral boundary. So now you can see the course, how it is coursing. Like you have, this is a popliteal artery. Initially, you can see the popliteal artery is on medial side. Now it is coming on lateral side. Initially, the popliteal vein, if you see, it is lateral to the artery. Now it has become medial to the artery. Just see the relationship. Okay. And then we know this is our sciatic nerve, which is dividing into tibial and common peroneal nerve. And of course, the other things are popliteal lymph nodes, and this is fat, popliteal fat. Okay. Then now, popliteus itself can be a 5 marks question. As I told you, deltoid is important, gluteus maximus, biceps brachiae. Similarly, this is one of the important muscle we have in the lower limb. So, origin, which condyle is this? Lateral condyle of the femur. Okay, and I told you it is coming from inside the capsule of knee joint. Okay, then that's how it is surrounded by few fibers of lateral semilunar cartilage. Okay, this cartilages I told you when I was discussing the lower end of the femur and superior aspect of tibia, and again I am going to repeat when I do knee joint. Nothing to worry. Okay, where is the insertion? I told you posterior surface of tibia we have soleal line, right? Isn't it? Above soleal line we have the insertion of popliteus muscle. Okay, then, so that is so same point is written better. It is arising within the capsule of knee joint. Okay. Now, see here, which are the muscles which are cut now? Semi-membranosus, semi-tendinosus is not seen now, isn't it? Biceps femoris, nothing is seen. You are seeing popliteus muscle, that means we are in the floor. No? You are seeing the popliteal surface of femur, isn't it, Hansraj?
Yes, ma'am.
Popliteal artery, popliteal vein, then the tibial and common peroneal nerves. Okay, this is medial side, this is lateral side. Same direction we are continuing. So which muscle has been cut better? Who gets
Gastrocnemius.
gastrocnemius? Below which you are finding
Soleus.
our foot sole, chappal sole like
Soleus.
shape muscle, soleus. In between gastrocnemius and soleus, can you see this muscle?
Mm,
Plantaris. Do
okay.
you remember palmaris longus in upper limb? degenerate muscle, which fans out to form palmar aponeurosis. Similarly, this is the degenerate muscle of lower limb, plantaris, which is found between these two muscles, like gastrocnemius and soleus. Okay, gastrocnemius and soleus together they form this Achilles tendon or tendocalcaneus, another name it has. Okay, picture is good, so I am trying to tell you many things from here. Okay, then what is this thick nerve you are finding better? Tibial nerve. Okay, what
TBL.
is the one? Very good. What is the one which is cut here? Common peroneal. Uh, or fibula, as Hansraj is telling. Okay. So cutaneous nerves are the sural cutaneous nerves, medial and lateral. Okay. Medial one is coming from tibial and lateral one is coming from common peroneal. Okay. Like that. So this is the nerve which is going to soleus. Okay, that means posterior compartment muscles are supplied by tibial nerve. Okay, beta? That is. So nerve supply of popliteus, because it is seen in the posterior compartment, it is also supplied by tibial nerve. Action is, it is helping in unlocking of knee joint. This word you remember better, unlocking. Okay, nothing but medial rotation of tibia over the femur. Okay, that is unlocking. Now, popliteal. Now see here, from the aorta we have abdominal aorta, common iliac. Then it will divide into external iliac, internal iliac. External iliac will continue as femoral. Femoral will be just passing through the saphenous, not opening, but opening of the adductor magnus to continue as popliteal. Popliteal will be again further dividing into anterior and posterior tibial. Okay, so that is popliteal artery. Now we will, because in popliteal fossa popliteal artery also comes, let us try to study about it. So popliteal artery is a continuation of which artery? Femoral artery.
Femoral.
Femoral artery. How does it come here? Through
External iliac.
femoral artery. Where is it ending? Femoral artery, where does it end? Adductor magnus opening.
Hiatus.
Very good.
Hiatus.
Yeah, very good. Hiatus to the adductor magnus. There it ends. Very good. Then it is coming on the posterior aspect. You can see this is the popliteal surface of femur. The popliteal artery is now, you can see, dividing into the posterior tibial artery, which is seen on the posterior aspect of the leg, and anterior tibial artery, which pierces the interosseous membrane to go into the anterior compartment of leg. Okay, now, so that means these are terminal branches better. Okay, apart from this, what joint is this? Lower end of the femur and upper end of the tibia. Knee joint, isn't it? So it will be giving so many branches which go and supply knee joint. Joint, wherever joint or bend is there, we use the word genicular artery. Okay. Now this is on medial side, you call it as medial superior genicular artery. This is medial inferior genicular artery. This is lateral superior genicular artery, then lateral inferior genicular artery, then middle genicular artery. Okay. So terminal branches are anterior and posterior tibial artery. Okay. So how many branches we are finding? 5 plus 2, 7. Okay. Hansraj, can you repeat? Branches of popliteal artery. Don't want to repeat.
Ma'am,
What are the branches of popliteal artery?
lateral superior genicular artery, medial superior genicular artery, and below that middle genicular artery, and below that lateral inferior genicular artery and medial inferior genicular artery.
What are the terminal branches? Final.
Anterior tibial and posterior tibial.
Posterior tibial, we are also getting one artery which is called as peroneal artery. Okay. If you can remember this picture, you can write everything better. Okay. So whatever just now Hansraj told us, all these branches are written here. Apart from that, cutaneous branches and muscular arteries are also written. Okay. So popliteal artery is a continuation of femoral artery which is seen in popliteal fossa. Terminal branches are anterior and posterior tibial artery. It divides at the distal border of popliteus muscle. These are the genicular branches. Okay, cutaneous and muscular branches we have. Okay, that is this already I told you, but I actually femoral artery is coming to the posterior compartment through the opening in the adductor magnus. Now the name has changed from femoral. Now it is named as popliteal. Okay. See, popliteal artery is actually important 5 marks question. So, if you observe this picture, this is the lower end of the femur and this is the upper end of the tibia and fibula. If you see the course of artery, initially the artery is medial, but when you come down, the artery's position has become lateral, isn't it? That means the initially if you see the position AVN, medial to lateral, we have artery, vein and nerve, tibial nerve. Okay. In the middle of the popliteal fossa, lying one above the other, one above the other. We have above is nerve, tibial nerve. In between we have popliteal vein. Deeper we have popliteal artery. When you come in the lower part of the fossa, the medial to lateral, you should remember NVA. Same thing like what we have. Order is the same. We have tibial nerve. In the middle we have popliteal vein and laterally we have artery. Vein is always maintaining in middle position. Only artery and nerve has changed. Okay, beta? Like that you remember it becomes easy for you. Upper one third, middle one third and lower one third. We are supposed to write the order from medial to lateral. In the upper one third, medial to lateral, AVN you remember. Middle one third, one above the other, NVA. Lower one third, medial to lateral, again NVA. Tibial nerve, then popliteal vein and popliteal artery. Is it clear, beta? This is same. This is taken from Vishwan Singh, beta. Whatever I have. AVN, NVA, NVA. Okay? It is. So coming to the relations of popliteal artery, see this is the popliteal artery. So anteriorly that is a deep surface. That means anteriorly it is related to the popliteal surface of femur. Oblique, you, whatever structures you saw in the floor of popliteal fossa, you can write it. Okay, oblique popliteal ligament of knee joint and popliteus muscle. Superficially above, what are the muscles you are finding? Semimembrane muscles. Then two heads of gastrocnemius which are cut. Plantaris distally. Okay, those are forming the superficial relations. That means if you cut superficial muscles, you will see the artery. When you cut the artery, you will see the deep relations of the artery. Deep relations are given as anterior. Superficial relations are given as posterior. That's it. Okay, deep relations. Whatever you saw as floor of popliteal fossa, that is nothing but deep relations of popliteal artery. Okay, beta? So sometimes there may be variations. The popliteal artery may terminate at the upper border of popliteus. In such a case, anterior tibial artery passes in front of popliteus. Basically, it should be at the lower border. It may be at the upper border also. Okay. Sometimes artery may terminate as anterior tibial artery and peroneal, not into anterior and posterior tibial. Instead, variations will be there. Anterior tibial and peroneal. That means from peroneal you will get posterior tibial artery in such cases. Sometimes it may trifurcate also. Anterior tibial artery, posterior tibial artery, common peroneal. Three different branches. It may come like this also. Okay. Now, coming to anastomosis around knee joint. We had anastomosis around elbow joint, isn't it? Similarly, we have certain branches which are forming anastomosis around like knee joint also. So here you need to concentrate. So many names will be coming. So what are the various names which you should know now? See, femoral artery branches will involve, popliteal artery branches will involve. Okay, the femoral artery branches, like you have names like descending genicular, saphenous. Okay, then this is the popliteal artery. From there we have inferior. Just now you have seen 5 names what Hansraj has named just now. All those 5 branches will be involved. Apart from that, we have the branches coming from femoral artery also. Recurrent branches coming from anterior tibial artery. They all will form the anastomosis. Now let us see what are the names. See, knee joint, is actually the place which we use more, isn't it? So, and popliteal artery is very narrow when you compare. So, there may be like whenever the knee is flexed, again it may be compressed also. So that there is an extensive anastomosis around the knee joint, so that we do not usually suffer with ischemia, non-availability of blood supply due to kinking in this area due to various movements of the knee joint. Okay. So how is this anastomosis formed? Popliteal arteries, terminal branches. Okay, the popliteal artery branches and the anterior and posterior tibial artery recurrent branches will form anastomosis. Okay, what are those? Let us see. Now see here. See this one. So superior medial genicular artery. This one, right? I told you it is one of the branches of popliteal, as Hansraj also told us. Superior medial genicular artery. It is anastomosing with descending genicular branch of, see this is descending genicular branch of femoral artery. Okay, and inferior, see here, this is inferior medial genicular artery. Okay, 1, 2, 3, you should remember. Okay, on the medial side. Then on the lateral side, we will see superior lateral genicular artery, the anastomosis with the descending branch of lateral circumflex femoral. This we saw when we were doing femoral artery, isn't it? Profunda femoris, it has medial circumflex branch, lateral circumflex branch, isn't it like that? That artery is coming down now. And also inferior lateral genicular. Three blood vessels you should remember. Medially 3 names, laterally 3 names. You sit calmly and study for yourself, you will definitely understand. Okay, beta? I'm repeating, on the medial side, we have superior medial genicular, inferior medial genicular, easy. Apart from that, you have descending genicular branch of femoral. Laterally, you have superior lateral genicular, inferior lateral genicular, easy. Apart from that, we also have descending branch of lateral circumflex femoral. Okay? Then. So both superior genicular arteries and descending genicular artery branches, they also anastomose transversely like this across lower end of the femur. Okay. Then. So now see here, inferior medial genicular is this. It is anastomosing with superior medial. We already knew this, and it is also anastomosing with saphenous branch of descending genicular arteries. This is the saphenous branch. Okay, and this is the descending genicular artery. Okay, many blood vessels will be anastomosing. You are supposed to sit calmly and study, you will remember everything. Then inferior lateral genicular is also anastomosing with superior lateral. This we know already. Anterior and posterior tibial recurrent branches. Now you can see this is the tibial. You are finding one branch coming in front and one branch going behind. Anterior tibial recurrent, posterior tibial recurrent branches of the anterior tibial artery, and also from fibular artery, actually that means here fibular artery, peroneal or fibular is not shown. Okay, only two are shown, anterior tibial artery, posterior tibial. From fibular artery, actually you will have, there is a one branch from posterior tibial. So that, what is the name of that branch? We have like circumflex fibular branch. Okay, circumflex means the one which goes here. You can see circumflex fibular branch of posterior tibial artery. Okay, so this one, it comes like this. So these are seen on the lateral aspect. Okay. Yes, yes, better. Okay. Next, we have inferior genicular arteries. They are also anastomosing transversely. Okay, deep to the ligamentum patellae. Okay, where do you see the ligamentum patellae? Front of the thigh, all four muscles together. You call them as quadriceps femoris. No? So the insertion point is, we have a sesamoid bone there. What is that? Patella. And the name of the tendon there, ligament there is ligamentum patella. Okay. So sometimes if suppose we cannot access the brachial artery to record blood pressure, we can also go with popliteal artery. Okay. So we can check blood pressure in the lower limb from popliteal artery. Okay. In case of coarctation of aorta, what is coarctation? Narrowing of aorta. Okay, the popliteal pressure is lower because the blood flow which is coming down will be comparatively flowing with obstruction and less speed, because of which if you measure blood pressure in the popliteal artery, it will be low when you compare with the blood pressure when you measure it brachial artery. Okay. And then popliteal vein, how is it formed? Anterior and posterior tibial veins together, they join to form the popliteal veins. Okay. That means venous drainage is in reverse direction. Anyhow, complete venous drainage I will take. You need not worry. Okay, this is the dorsal venous arch. We have anterior tibial vein, posterior tibial vein. Okay, superficial veins are small saphenous vein, great saphenous vein. Great saphenous vein is draining into femoral vein. Small saphenous vein is draining into popliteal vein. This we will discuss again. Okay. Lymph nodes also I will discuss when we are doing exclusively the lymphatic drainage. Okay, then yesterday I was talking about popliteal aneurysm. The ballooning out of blood vessel is aneurysm. Okay, we can check pulsations in this way. See, this is sometimes there may be a cyst formation in this popliteal fossa, and you call that as popliteal cyst or Baker's cyst. Why it is Baker's cyst? Because it is usually found in bakers who have a job of standing for a prolonged time. Okay, so this is the aneurysm which you can see. Okay, ruptured cyst can cause pain and swelling. This is popliteal aneurysm. Do you remember Hunter's canal? I told you there we have to ligate the blood vessels and we have to cut this aneurysm. Adductor canal. There we should ligate. Okay, sometimes there may be cancer also in this popliteal fossa. Subcutaneous cyst.